been told all over the world. Many different languages, many different cultures have told this story. And today, we tell you our version of the Red Shoes. How is it that all stories begin again?
Once upon a time.
Long ago, in a time half remembered,
Half forgotten.
there lived a young woman, a young girl. She lived with her granny in a very simple cottage by a woodland. Yes. Well, it was a rich life, a simple life, full of abundance, nature, and the joy of the sky drifting over the meadows. But could the girl be happy with this? Oh no, she wasn't happy at all. She was bored, she was miserable. She had a lot of darkness inside her, in her tummy, in her heart, but most of all, in her head. Oh yes. In her head, thoughts were clacking and clucking and moaning, nagging and sighing, crying, howling, weaving lies of deceit all around her despair and her discontent, until her thoughts, her mind, was all that filled her life. And as she looked around the humble dwelling and the grandmother that loved her and the beautiful cherry tree outside, oh, she didn't notice any of that. She didn't feel any of that at all. She just thought about what she should have. I should have a beautiful dress. I should have a boyfriend who loves me. I should be over there where the grass is greener. I should. She was shooting all over herself. In fact, someone else is speaking in my mind. The collective drones its dreary, anxious chant. The shoulds race round and round and round and round, and I strain to listen to beyond, to the me within the sound. Hey, turn the volume down in here.
In here. In here.
I need to spend some time with her, that woman underneath, below, beyond. Come up, come out, be free, be near, be mine, be still the flashing images of someone else's dreams and needs. Hush, hush now, and let my voice be heard. But did she listen?
She did not.
Hang on, did she listen?
She did not.
No, she did not listen to that deeper voice. Indeed, she just went along in a mundane life. And as the day grew to a close and she climbed into bed, misery, darkness, she fell into a comfortless sleep. And as she awoke the next day, she didn't wake with joy in her heart. She didn't actually feel very much at all. She felt quite numb, really, inside. And yes, she looked out of the window and she saw a reflection of herself. She saw the grey, the dark. She didn't notice that it was a beautiful spring morning. She did not notice the birds singing. She did not notice the pale blue sky. She felt only the whizzing lies inside her mind, feeding her misery. And looking in at the window, the little birds looked in, and they were sitting on a beautiful cherry branch, and they were feeling their feet on the branch as the lullaby of the spring breeze rocked them. And The freshness moved through their feathers. The first rays of the spring sunshine glinted across the meadows. And they looked in at the windows and they saw a huge head with tiny little feet. That's all they could sense, all they could see. A massive mind whirling around and all the energy in that poor girl's mind. And they felt so sorry for her that they reached out. They reached out towards her. They wanted her to know the sensation of the moment, the feeling of her body in the world with the spring coming, the green of the trees. They wanted her to be in her body. They wanted her to be in her feet.
Listen to your heart.
Be in your feet, be in your feet.
Whoa, it's a brand new craze. Whoa, you'll be amazed. Come on and see what you find.
Shut your mind. Get out of your mind, step right in and see what you find. It's your work. Put down your words, put down your woes, in the deal, wheel and toe. That feels good.
Whoa, it's a brand new craze. Whoa, you'll be amazed. Come on and see what you find.
Shut your mind. Get ready for a walk. Here we go.
Be in your feet.
Smile with your feet.
Step to the beat.
Come on, get ready.
Come on, get ready. Come on, get ready.
Whoa, it's a brand new craze. Whoa, you'll be amazed. Come on and see what you find.
See what you find. But did she listen?
She
She did not. She was so right. In fact, she went on with her day without even noticing the beautiful dawn chorus or noticing the sky at all. And down she went. Her grandma made her porridge again. And so she ate her boring porridge. And on she went with her day. Her grandma said, out you go into the garden and get me some vegetables for our supper. She thought, if I send her out to the garden, maybe she'll, perk up a bit because it's so lovely out there with those lovely green vegetables. So off she went. Oh God, if I have to, I suppose so. Off she went out into the garden. And did she see the abundance, the richness? Did she notice the energy in those spring greens? She did not. She felt only that darkness, that despair. She felt her mind telling her, the grass is greener over there, you're not enough. And she felt that despair go through every cell of her body. She felt that no one understood her. There was no one in the whole world suffering the way she suffered. Oh no. She felt very alone and empty. And she sighed. No, I mean, she really sighed. Yes, and in that moment of sighing, she did feel her feet on the earth, just for a moment. She felt the soles of her feet on the muddy earth, and in that moment, her eyes caught the glint and the glimmer of a beautiful brook that went past their cottage garden. And she noticed that brook, and she felt just a moment of peace. And into that peace spoke the brook. Spoke the water, the crystal water, filled with the light of the mountains. The water reached out into that moment towards the young girl, and calling her towards her deeper self, her truer self, the goddess in her, the earth in her, the stars in her. Hello, it's me again. I never really leave, you know. I'm cargo in your train of thought. I'm the ringing in the unanswered phone. I'm the restless swinging foot. I'm the space between your feelings. I'm the forgotten root, the point of pain, the well of healing. I'm your peace and your adventure, the trauma and the treasure. I'm the voice that waits to sing. I'm your magic and your joy, the door to lands unseen. I'm the river running, true and clean, to the meeting place within. Jump in. I'm you. But did she listen?
She did not.
No, she just trudged back into her home. And you know, days passed, months passed, feeling dull and bored and just listening to the moaning inside her own mind. And her old granny watched that with a gentle eye and a worried heart. For she was a simple woman and she had no words to give. And that night, the young girl climbed into bed, still moaning and groaning. Yes, yes, still moaning. It was never right for her. To bed she thought. Yeah. She turned away from her granny and she turned her shoulder away from her as she fell into a dark, comfortless, dreamless sleep. And the old granny, she took a few moments there, a few extra moments in her rocking chair by the fire to consider deeply what could be done. And she reached into her own experience. She reached into her own deep love. She reached into her own wisdom. And within her arose a song, a lullaby, and she hoped with all her heart the girl would hear the whispered lullaby in her sleep, and that a golden thread would weave itself into her dreams.
did not.
She did not listen. She awoke the next morning from a dreamless sleep with no energy and no hope. She awoke with dark clouds in her mind and in her heart, even though it was market day. And you might think, oh, that'll be fun. She can go to market and meet her friends, and that'll be great, won't it? No, she didn't feel like that. She just felt shame. Look at what I'm wearing. Look at my hair. I don't have the current style. I just feel like I don't fit. I'm not the right shape. I'm not the right life. Oh, I can't go, but I'll have to because Granny will make me. And so she just felt filled with the darkness of not being enough, not being good enough, not having enough, not being seen as enough, feeling only poverty in her life. And she sighed. I mean, she really sighed. And in that moment of sighing, she caught her heart beating. And for a moment, her golden heart felt connected and reached out to comfort her, reached out to try to lead her, to try to embrace her.
When the dark clouds meet my morning eyes and my mood sinks down, you know I realize same old question deep in my fear, and the answer rushes through me loud and clear. You're good enough, hey, hey, you're good enough, girl. You're good enough, you are good enough. When I can't even face leaving my own front door, when my self-esteem is only good for mopping the floor, when I can't hear, can't feel, can't even see, when everybody out there's looking cooler than me, hear me, you're good enough, hey, hey, you're good enough, girl, you're good enough, you are good enough. When the sun sinks down on a golden day, and all I hear is all the things that didn't go my way, when what I thought I knew for sure all seems wrong, grab yourself a hairbrush and try singing this song. Good enough, hey, hey, you're good enough, girl, you're good enough, you are good enough. One more time. You're good enough, hey, hey, you're good enough, girl, you're good enough, you are good enough.
But did she listen?
She did not.
Sad. And so, off to market she went. Her head hung low. And, well, it's probably no surprise to any of you that she got the mirror back exactly of what her mind was telling her. People were scorning her, judging her, looking at her oddly. And she felt very, very alone, even more alone than ever before. And finally, with her heavy laden basket of vegetables, I like the vegetables bit, vegetables, she went back homeward bound, feeling very sad. She walked along the street, and then her heart, her mind, glimpsed something out of the corner of her eye, and she looked. She couldn't believe it. Her head started spinning, her heart beating. In the cobbler's shop in the window, the red shoes.
The red shoes! The red shoes! So sparkly.
With tassels.
These shoes will surely change my life.
Oh, they will. I will be adored.
I'll be noticed.
I'll be really confident.
I will marry the handsome prince at last.
Oh, and I'll have lovers from all over the world.
I'll be successful.
Yes, filled with an excitement, a high, a buzzing in her mind. I need them, I want them, I deserve them. I can't live this life without them, my precious. Yes, she rushed home. She rushed home buzzing, and she threw open the door. She left the vegetables somewhere in the street. She didn't care about anything at all. She only cared about the red shoes. And she said to her Granny, Granny, I need those red shoes.
Oh, God, I want them so much, Granny, please.
Please, Granny.
Granny. If you love me, you'll buy them for me.
I
will.
without them. And the poor old Granny, she said, oh, my darling girl, I wish I could buy those for you, I do, but we don't have a penny to spare. You know, I save every penny in case, you know, God forbid, you might be alone one day, and I save those pennies for you, my darling, so that you will be safe. Oh, I care about that, she said.
It won't be any good to me then.
No.
I want them now.
Please, I need them now. Yes. And so she started a whole crying. She was crying. Yes, thank you. She was howling. She was stamping her feet.
You're so mean.
I hate you, Granny. Granny, come on. And the old lady took a moment's thought, a moment with her heart, and she realised that she was never going to listen to her. She was never going to hear the lullaby in her dreams. She never listened to the birds or saw the sky. She needed to learn her own way. And so, reluctantly, she went and she found the old box under the bed. Just a little old box, you know, but it was filled with every copper coin she'd ever saved for her beloved granddaughter. And with a sigh, with a heavy heart, she handed it over. And the girl just snatched it. She just took it. She wanted those shoes so badly. That's all she could think about. Oh, yes. And she turned away from her granny without a second glance, without a kiss on her soft cheek, without a last hug. And she didn't even close the door. She ran. She ran back to the cobbler's. By this time it was really quite late. She knocked on the door. No one came. She knocked again. And down came the cobbler in his nightgown, quite annoyed. Yeah, what do you want? Oh, I just really need those shoes. Please, can I buy those shoes? Oh, those shoes aren't right for you, love. Not much shoe fancy for you. What are you doing here in the middle of the night? Looking for shoes? They won't even fit you. They weren't made for you. They're not the right size for you. What were you thinking? Why don't you just go home again where you belong with your old gran and those lovely shoes what she made you? She's really good at making shoes, your old gran, isn't she? Oh, no, she said. I deserve them. I want them. I need them. And she begged. She did. I got to have them, and that. And so he gave in, and he got the red shoes. But he was so fed up by then, he just threw them out the door and slammed the door. And the girl took one just moment to look down at her soft leather shoes and just remembered, just for a second, a millisecond, how her grandma had helped to stretch that level where it rubbed, you know, and how when she was a little girl and she loved the cow parsley, they'd stenciled on the shape of the cow parsley on her shoes, and she just for a moment remembered that, and then she just kicked them away. Shocking, right? Let's have a gasp. She just kicked them away. And she put on those those beautiful shiny red patent leather shoes with the buckles and the whistles and the bows and the jangles and the bling. And she put them on. Yeah, it's true. They didn't really fit. Did she listen to the cobbler?
She did not.
She put them on, she strapped them on, and they did feel a bit, yeah, they were a bit sloppy, they were a bit, but oh my goodness. She looked down at her shoes, and her mind filled with a fizzing, with a kind of feeling that felt like love. It was overwhelming, it was heady. Oh my goodness, look at me. Oh, everyone's going to look at me in these shoes. I look amazing, don't I? Look at these shoes. I mean, when they sparkle like this, everyone will want to be my friend. And she noticed, what? That she felt like dancing. Wow, she was high on life. She was high as a kite. And off she went, dancing down the road. I feel 10 feet tall.
Look at me. I love my shoes.
People weren't really watching her though. They were just getting on with their lives. But she thought they were looking. She loved it. Oh yes, at last. She danced. She laughed. She sang. She was happy. 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 Yeah, let's dance. Come on, everyone. She's dancing. She came to a forest. Nice, Scott. I like that sigh of that was. She came to a forest. Oh, God, so nice. And the trees, the ancient trees, they saw this girl and they saw with their great wisdom, with the roots that reached so deep, so wide, they knew with their wisdom that those shoes were dancing her. She might think she was dancing, but sure, those shoes, that's hard to say, were dancing her. And the trees reached out with their branches. They reached out in friendship and in kinship. For they might help her with their magic, break the spell, curse. And they sang to her.
All the world is in your head. Find another way instead. Step outside and see the sky so blue. Something to remind myself when misery is taking sway. When no thinking seems to help. Find another way. Remember, never underestimate the power of trees. Trees love humans too.
Oh, yes, they do now.
Never underestimate the power of trees. Trees love humans too. All the world is in your head. Find another way instead. Step outside and see the sky so blue. Something to remind myself when misery is taking sway. When no thinking seems to help. Find another way. Remember, never underestimate the power of trees. Trees love humans too.
Oh, yes, they do now.
Never underestimate the power of trees.
Get ready to
Trees love humans too.
Let's do the arms.
Never underestimate the power of trees. Trees love humans too. Oh, yes, they do now. Never underestimate the power of trees. Trees love humans too.
But did she listen?
She did not.
Onward she went. She was still in love with her red shoes. She was still dancing. She was still happy. Yes, off she went. And as she went, she thought, gosh, I haven't actually stopped. I haven't actually stopped for a drink. I can, because I haven't got red shoes on. She hasn't actually stopped for a drink in a long time. I feel sorry for her. She had a hunger in her. She felt a growling in her. But no, she couldn't stop to eat. In fact, she hadn't even seen a person or sat down for a moment since she put those shoes on. And to be honest, she was getting a little bit fed up. She was feeling a bit tired. Some days had gone by. She was still dancing along and trying to enjoy it. Yes, I am happy. Yes, this is what I wanted. Yes. And onward she went. And darkness began to fall, and a big, beautiful moon rose in the sky. Yes, shone down and lit up a circle of women gathered around a fire. And she looked over, and there was a cauldron on the fire, and there was something so delicious. Oh, so delicious. Her saliva began to run, and she looked over there, and they were stirring the pot. They were stirring the pot. Oh, one more. They were stirring nice. And as she approached, the old woman looked over her. They weren't old. They were all many ages. The women looked over, and they sensed, they sensed the girl coming, and they looked over, and they thought, she don't look good, does she?
Oh, she
I don't like the look of her.
looked awful.
This soul. She got pale. She's pallid, isn't it? That's what I call it.
No flesh.
Flesh on her bones. God, she don't look. She's eaten from days, do it?
Rain.
No. What can we do?
She's sick. She's sick. I think she cursed.
I think she's cursed. I think she's sick. I think you're all right.
Very sick.
I think she needs a potion. I think,
Yeah.
She needs a magic spell. She needs some green magic.
Yeah, the green.
Come on. And so the women linked arms. And as the young girl came closer to the fire, they made a ring around her to keep her safe. And they offered her their healing. Ready to clap. One, two, three, four. she elbowed her way out of that circle, and she didn't even have one little sip of the lovely nettle soup. No, onward she went, dancing, stumbling, falling sometimes. And those shoes were leading her a right old dance. Oh yes. And as she went on, the days made her bones dry, and her ribs stick out, until after some months she was just bones, dancing along the road with very thin, translucent skin, her ribs sticking out. You could see, though, a golden heart shining beneath the skin, still there, still shining as brightly as ever. But the poor young girl just stumbled along until she felt she could go no further. She felt a deep, deep well of despair. She wished it was over and that it would end with all her heart, but she didn't know what to do. She had no thoughts left. She had no illusions left. And then she noticed a small copse with a woodcutter sitting. She felt a glimmer of hope. She could call to the woodcutter. If he could release her from the shoes, if he could cut off the shoes, then she might be free. She might be free to just notice the sky, notice her breath. And so she called out to him. He was sitting eating his lunch over here somewhere. And she said, please, Mr. Woodsman, please, save me, free me, please, please. And it sounded like, just so dry. And he didn't understand a word she said, and he didn't know. I mean, is that a girl? No. Is it a ghost? What is that thing? And he turned his head away. But laying propped up against the tree beside him was his trusty axe. His honourable, brave axe. And the axe heard. The axe heard her cries, her longing, her desperation. And the axe felt the truth, felt the compassion needed here. And as a shaft of sunlight hit the shine of the axe, so it flew up into the sky, into the blue sky. It flew into the air, and it chopped off her feet. And the shoes ran away, dancing over the hills on their own. The end. Oh, not quite. Because still shining. The golden heart. The golden heart never dies, does it now? The golden heart. The golden heart is eternal. And there it shone. We won't talk about her bones.
Not in front of the children.
And so, we are left with one song left to sing. The song of the golden heart.
I'm learning to let my heart lead my beautiful golden heart. I'm learning to let my heart lead my beautiful golden heart. I'm learning to let my heart lead my beautiful golden heart. I'm learning to let my heart, lead my beautiful golden heart.
My heart,
Learn to let my heart lead my beautiful golden heart.
my heart,
Learning to let my heart lead my beautiful golden heart. Learning to let my heart lead my beautiful golden heart. I'm learning to let my heart lead my beautiful golden heart. I'm learning to let my heart lead my beautiful golden heart. I'm learning to let my heart lead my beautiful golden heart. I'm learning to let my heart lead my heart. I'm learning to let my heart lead my heart. I'm learning to let my heart lead my heart lead.
My golden heart, my golden